Flirting with infinity, the remembering. Awake and aware on every plane. There is a frequency that hums beneath conscious thought, beneath strategy, beneath the body's daily negotiation with time. A remembering, memory as recognition, the kind that ripples backwards through bloodlines and forward into futures you will never witness with these eyes. This is the third movement of the symphony we've been creating together these past couple of days, the remembering. The opening widened the field and taught you to signal readiness. The holding conditioned your system to remain present on the threshold. The remembering invites you to awake on every plane where you exist simultaneously. Because the work you do here, now, does not end at the edges of your skin. It moves backwards through the lineage that shaped you, forward towards the ones who will one day call you ancestor. This is where healing becomes multidimensional, where your prosperity ecosystem expands beyond the present moment into the architecture of time itself. Most people live on one plane, the material, the immediate, the documented and provable. You arrived here because something in you already knows there are other frequencies available, other planes where your choices register, other timelines where your healing lands. The question is whether you are willing to stay awake on all of them at once. To feel your grandmother's grief soften as you choose differently. To sense your great-great-grandchild's freedom expand as you tend your worthiness today. To recognize that every boundary you honor rewrites a contract signed generations before you were born. This is material work. The remembering begins with presence. Presence so embodied it becomes a gravitational field. Presence that remains steady even when the room forgets you were there. Your nervous system, your first CFO, becomes the anchor. When you remain regulated inside of receipt, your body sends a signal through time. It tells the lineage behind you, this is what safety feels like. This is what it means to be held by what you create. This is how resources circulate when the system trusts. It reaches the ones who never rested, who never experienced overflow, who lived braced against scarcity until their very last breath. Your regulated nervous system becomes their healing, and healing, once activated, moves where it is needed most. The same signal travels forward to the ones who will carry your name in their mouths, who will inherit the choices you make in this exact moment, who will feel the consequences and the gifts alike. When you choose pleasure over punishment, they inherit ease. When you choose receipt over relentless output, they inherit rhythm. When you choose worthiness over proving, they inherit belonging. Your devotion to your own expansion becomes their foundation. This is why your prosperity ecosystem is never only yours. The ease you reclaim alters the timeline. The energy you nourish sends a frequency into the field. The capacity you build expands the container for everyone downstream. Your joy becomes an heirloom. The remembering asks for a different kind of courage. The courage to stay awake while everything rearranges, to feel old contracts dissolving in real time, to sense the future adjusting its trajectory based on your choices today, to hold grief and liberation in the same breath without collapsing into either. This unfolds through being, not burden. This is mastery, presence across dimensions. Here, imagination sharpens. In the opening, you named desire and left room for or better. In the holding, imagination built unseen infrastructure. In the remembering, resonance becomes a time-traveling technology. You imagine your lineage healed, not metaphorically, literally. You feel the moment your great-grandmother's shoulders drop. The instant an ancestor released shame carried like a second spine. The precise second scarcity loosened its grip across generations. You imagine the future ones free, not theoretically, tangibly. You sense their laughter untethered from survival, their creativity unbound, their prosperity so ordinary it moves without question. And as you imagine, the field responds. Because time isn't a line going in one direction only. It's a spiral. And you stand at the center, broadcasting a frequency that rewrites every loop. The prosperity ecosystem operates on every plane. On the material plane, cash flows, opportunities arrive, resources stabilize. On the energetic plane, capacity expands, frequency shifts, magnetic coherence strengthens. On the ancestral plane, old debts complete, inherited scarcity dissolves, lineage patterns release their grip. On the future plane, liberation takes root, ease becomes inheritance, worthiness becomes ordinary. You are tending all of this right now with every breath, with each choice that honors your system, with every moment that regulates receipt, with every breath that remains. The lessons you learn here circulate. The moment work nourishes instead of depletes, the lessons echo backwards. The instant completion feels safe, that knowing travels forward. When overflow becomes ordinary in your body, it becomes available across time. This is how one healed nervous system shifts more than a life. It shifts a lineage. Through presence, through devotion to expansion, through refusing to shrink around the worthiness moving through you. Being awake on every plane does not require more effort. It asks for a deeper sensing. Noticing shifts before evidence appears. Feeling grief release even when circumstances stay the same. Recognizing the precise moment worthiness settles into fact. These are the moments when time bends. The remembering integrates it all. Together, these three movements form a complete symphony. Desire signals, imagination builds, and healing circulates. Your nervous system becomes the organizing intelligence for prosperity that spans generations. This is flirting with infinity, a state of being. One where you remain awake to the ripples your choices create, where your expansion serves more than just you, where a body that knows it belongs to abundance becomes a profound act of protest. When the weight of this work arrives, please remember, you are doing this with everyone who came before and everyone who will come after. Your regulated nervous system is their nervous system healing. Your embodied worthiness is their worthiness remembered. Your prosperity is their prosperity seated. Stay awake, stay present, stay devoted to the expansion moving through you. Time is rearranging itself around your frequency. This is the remembering. Let it move, let it heal, let it build. You are the threshold where past and future meet, and the way you tend this moment ripples into eternity. Reflection prompts. What pattern completes itself through you now? What becomes possible for the ones who will call you ancestor? How does your body register the feeling of worthiness moving through time? Daily affirmations. I am awake on every plane where my presence creates healing. My regulated nervous system sends safety through the lineage. My embodied worthiness travels forward as inheritance and freedom. The lessons I integrate here ripple backwards and forwards through time. My prosperity circulates as medicine across generations. I stand at the center of time, tending the frequency that liberates us all. Postscript. Profit is protest, and so is honoring the healing and expansion that moves beyond the edges of your skin. The remembering is where devotion becomes multidimensional and presence reshapes time. Stay awake, beloved. Every plane needs you here. Your presence blesses the future simply by being regulated and resourced. Now.